so to say, appearance. And we'll try our best to to say something inspiring. And and there's no way I can squeeze everything in one lecture, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he was an amazing, an incredibly amazing person, and there's so much to discuss regarding his biography and his books and his heritage. So, and because today's his appearance day, I thought it'd be nice to to talk about his his kind of like pastimes with Venus on this planet Earth, and also before it became the discussion, I'd like to dwell upon some kind of basics, because which is quite interesting to all of us. It might be interesting. And so Bhaktivinoda Thakur, because as we know, there is at least two ways of looking at Bhaktivinoda Thakur's life, and not only because even if we look at Krishna's life, or Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's life, or anyone's any great acharyas' life, we can examine their lives in two different ways, and one is like mundane, and another one is transcendental, or which is more appropriate, and we'll see why. Because just 1 second. Because from I don't know how many people in this room have already read about Bhaktivinoda Thakur and his life, but how many familiar with this? And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, like externally speaking, he was let's put it another way. Like once upon a time, or better maybe to say, in the moment that transcends, the time, or you can say like on Sunday in 1838, the 2nd of September, in the village of Ula, West Bengal, a child appeared, and he looked, he seemed to be very, very, normal child. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he recalls his appearance in the following way, which is quite interesting. He says that before yet that we need to understand that in their Madhurika Kadambini said that the life of Vaishnava, Mahatma, is like it's like lotus flower. First it appears to be like a sprout, and then blossoms, and then we see the proper flower. And in the same way, the sadhu, when someone descends from the spiritual side of this earth, for example, first we might not be able to understand his real nature, because he might be very, very similar to us. He might have some very similar problems, etc. But as time as days go by, his real nature is revealed. Like, for example, Jesus Christ, he was nailed to the cross, and he was killed, and only sometime later his glory was appreciated. And although it might anyway, and in the same way, like Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he came first, he used to be like a very normal person, like a scholar, and he wasn't like, he didn't look like Krishna, like, the Supreme Lord. He was very, like a normal being, like us, and in one way. And he wasn't like Vaishnava, but then his nature changed because it's like pastime, and even Krishna, like in Mahabharata, it's funny because Duryodhana, he thought that Krishna was a magician. He was very powerful, like magician, and he could like make different tricks, etc. And until he died, even like just before he passed away, he was like, maybe Krishna, maybe he's not a normal being, maybe there's something special about him, because ignorance is so thick, and anyway, but that's why it's not easy to understand, the because there's two energies, with which we can try to understand, the spiritual reality. Vibhava-pratitya and abhava-pratitya. Vibhava-pratitya is the proper understanding of Vibhava, it's like real knowledge, and abhava-pratitya is Krishna's energy, or it's ignorance. It seems to be real knowledge, but it's not knowledge, it's ignorance, illusion. And anyway, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he recalls, he describes his appearance in the following way. I'm just turning back to the beginning. So he says that Martha told me that 3 days before my birth, she suffered severe labour pains, and that during my birth, an astrologer recorded the time with both an hourglass and an English clock. Of all my brothers, I was a little ugly, and so my mother prayed, okay, let this boy be the servant of the rest, but just let him be. And so it seems to be very like, it's quite interesting because he was like a little ugly and very, and his relatives, they thought he would die very soon because it's the 18th century, and Kolkata very special city, and I think by the beginning, historically, it's also quite interesting. Historically, by the beginning of the 18th, 19th, and 18th century, British, had totally colonized, conquered the Indian, Gandhi, etc. civilization, and the Queen Victoria was coronated in sometime later. Anyway, that was in Calcutta. At those times, you could find anyone like English, French, Spanish, many very interesting place. And Bhaktivinoda Thakur here appeared in those days when the real knowledge was disappeared, real knowledge for spirituality, and come back to this. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur, at the age of 2, he composed his first poem. So at what age did you? How many books have you written?